So let's get back here to the resume now. So we've got our cover letter. Chances are you'll send a resume as an attachment as well. So no, let's just take a look at this one. This is a well laid out resume. It's got education. So I see right up at the front, degree, certification. If you're looking for something outside the state of the school you're graduating in, showing that certification is in progress for the state you're applying, that's important because many times you won't be considered for a job outside of your home state unless you've got the certification ball rolling or it's already completed. Then you've got this one has teaching and related experience. You'll notice that things are organized in reverse chronological order. So it's the most recent things first. So here you see student teacher, master class and sectional coach, visual technician, brass staff. These are all great things. Then it says awards. Unfortunately, the word awards is plural and there's only one entry there. That's not a great thing to do, but it's not a deal breaker necessarily. Then we have performance leadership experience and then professional associations. All of this has been condensed into one page. And I highly encourage as an entry-level teacher, keeping your resume to one page is pretty essential. Now, if you feel that you simply must go to 2 pages, be absolutely certain that your second page has your name at the top of it. Preferably, you can just take the header on the first page, put it on the second page, so that it's easy to match your your multiple pages. Now, this is an okay resume, but here are the suggestions I made to improve this. Notice that we've still got basically the same header. Education and certification have been combined into one thing. Then we have professional experience, and this is now broken down into categories. This person happened to be a second year, going into a second year as a teacher, so he had some experience in the classroom. So he's got that first, and then what his responsibilities were. Staff member, brass instructor, and so all of that information is categorized so I can easily see the different areas of music education that you are familiar and experienced with. Then we have awards, plural, and now there are 2 entries. And then we have related experience. And these are some things that then contribute to the qualifications that may help distinguish you among other candidates. And then professional associations. I don't think you need to sweat too much the professional associations. That's nice to list there. It shows that you associate and identify with these groups, and that's important because the way that we advocate for ourselves is often through our professional organizations. So that means you've got to go to your state conventions and support those organizations, because when we show up in numbers, that matters. So, maybe you got to camp out on the floor and you got 6 of you in a hotel room. You didn't hear this from me. Whatever you got to do, you've got to go to your state conventions and support them. So just for comparison's sake, let's look at these two resumes side by side. You can see that they're both very neat, very organized, but the one on the right gives me a little bit more insight into the various facets of this person's qualifications. Now, getting on to the list of references.
I think
sometimes jump in, please.
One thing that I would love to really underscore there for our listeners is that the listing of the responsibilities. I think that clarified so much. And when you're looking at it in one page, when you're going through and let's say you're looking through 50 resumes, you're looking for ones that does their skill set match what we need at this moment in time? Mm-hmm. And if you're listing those skill sets and you're very specific there and you say, all right, here was my teaching position, here's what I was responsible for. If there's a lot of points of alignment just there, they're going to be able to skim that and see that really quickly. So that use of responsibilities and what you did is going to be really, really critical. So I just wanted to underscore that because that really is an effective tool, especially when you're sifting through so many resumes. It will catch your eye because that's not necessarily always the norm. And so it's going to catch their eye. They're going to read a little bit deeper into it. And if those points of alignment happen, that's often really great in your favor.
And once again, this all kind of goes to the psychology of making sure whenever you're formatting, putting together, whether it's cover letter or resume, that it's clear, it's concise. Because whenever you're as a reader, I mean, I know if I pull open, say, the Grout music history book, it's not very not attractive to read. But if you format your resume, format a cover letter to where it's attractive to read, where you use your white space effectively, and when you're listing kind of your responsibilities, they don't have to do as much work to be like, okay, what does this mean? They were student staff with the marching band. What does that entail? So if you list it right away, they don't have to do that extra work, which might turn them away. They're like, oh, right away. And like Dr. Payne is saying, they see that responsibility, and it's like that lines up with something that we really want in our next director or whatever. And then it's just going to help you get in that pile of like, okay, this guy's going to get an interview.
And I would also add the consistency of font. You could see that the name one font, and then when we get there, the titles were in just a smaller version of that font. But then when you got to the, from what I could see on the screen, whenever we get to the responsibilities, now all of a sudden that goes into italics. So all of a sudden it pops up a little bit differently, and which is really effective for the eye as well, so that they can see, okay, now I'm looking at this relates to that, which I think is really helpful.
And the font is important, and using flowery fonts or fonts that are have serifs on them, little hanging ornamentation at the end of them, that can be very taxing on the eye. So a sans serif font like this, Arial or something like that, is good because it's very easy on the eyes. I would also say, and you both have just done a marvelous job of springboarding me to the next area, but I would like to say that I've seen people submit their resumes and they have their picture embedded into the resume. I think that's a bad idea. I would not put your picture there, because people will sometimes make judgments, and good or bad, based on what they see. And believe it or not, I've actually seen someone who said, well, we can't hire this guy. He's too good looking. Well, brother, that's a shame that being a good looking person works against you. But I would say, let them see you in person, and as we'll get to in a moment, they'll probably find out what you look like anyway, because social media is such a big factor in all this as well.
I mean, hint taken, Frank. I won't keep that photo in there because they might think I'm too good looking. So,
well, you've got the kids all excited about trying to guess your age. So I think you probably represent you well enough in person. So you're good to go there, Eric.